WFM 91.7.
Good morning and welcome to Political Arena on Women Radio 91.7. My name is Sumto Titilayo Ajama. Thank you very much for coming in and for tuning in to spend time with me today on Political Arena, where we discuss politicking in Nigeria. A report by the Gender Strategy Advancement International, GSAI, has disclosed that women political participation in Nigeria falls below the world and African continental standards. As a matter of fact, the report says the national average of women's political participation in Nigeria remains at 6.7% in both elective and appointive positions, which, according to the report again, is far below the global average of 22.5%, African regional average of 23.4%, and West African sub-regional average of 15%. Basically, we're nowhere near some of the basic landmarks when it comes to women's political participation. How much longer do we need for this to happen? Well, today I'm speaking with SIMI OLUSOLA, PDP candidate, EKITI State House of Assembly, IKERE 2 constituency. Good morning. Thank you very much, SIMI. Thank you for joining us today on Political Arena.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. We're speaking about Roadmap to 2023, creating change through stronger women representation in governance. Roadmap to 2023, creating change through stronger women representation in governance. So let me now ask you this. First, I have to say congratulations on achieving this particular feat. Being the PDP candidate for EKITI State House of Assembly is a big deal. So congratulations. How does it feel achieving this feat?
Thank you. How does it feel? Of course, I'm very glad in the sense that no one sets out to achieve a goal, and then when you achieve it, you will not be happy. So I'm very happy in that sense.
Of course.
I feel very gratified that all the work that I put in, because my God, I put in a lot of work. Mm-hmm. It's by far the most frustrating and most difficult thing I've ever had to done. And when I say difficult, I don't mean in terms of how complex or how technical it is, mm-hmm. but just the kind of effort, things you have to navigate. I mean, it's not rocket science, but it's very difficult, right? So it just was very gratifying and very expensive, extremely expensive. So to know that all of that did not go to waste, and I feel very excited because for me, it's beyond running for office just to be in a position. One thing I was also hoping to do was to sort of lay out a framework or template that other young people like me can look at and say, okay, this looks like a winning strategy. If I can adapt this thing to my circumstance, chances that I will win are very high. So I feel like I've been able to go in there, uncover things and share with other young people that this is how you can win elections, or these are the things mm-hmm. you can do to help you get closer to winning elections. So I feel very glad that I've been able to demystify and open up some of those things for other young people.
Absolutely.
And the other part is there's a bit of me that feels overwhelmed because the journey ahead is a lot.
Most definitely, I can understand. I'm glad you're being very honest about how you feel, and that's very helpful. So let's talk about politics. Why are you running specifically for this seat? In the House of Assembly? Why are you running for this seat specifically?
Let's talk about why I'm running for office in the first place. For me, what at my core is helping people live better lives. I always say that the only difference between the rich and the poor should be lottery. Let's say that the rich person can afford to buy a $500,000 watch, but basic things like education, good roads, and basic healthcare should not be what differentiates the rich from the poor. Like, you all have access to some basic level of dignity, and that's what I've been doing. Like, so I've been working in the non-for-profit space, set up a non-profit of my own, which is still thriving. I resigned from that last year to focus in politics. So, I mean, I've done a lot of work in the social impact space across Nigeria, across Africa. And what I had come to see was that no matter how much we do as civil society, the non-profit space, or as private sector, we'll only be spot treating issues, or there's only so much that we can do if we don't have a good government, providing the enabling environment, meeting us halfway. So I just got frustrated, like, come on, so like looking at every civil society has been looking at this thing, trying to improve Nigeria for donkey years, and yes, we're making progress, but the progress is slow. So I saw that there's one particular experience I like to recount. So the non-profit I founded, one of our projects is called Abo Coders. Abo is Yoruba for famous, so Figo Coders.
Hello, are you there? Can you hear me?
So it's a product design to young women from low-income families. Can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
So that training, we provide that training to women from low-income families. We have an academy in Kaduna, Niger, Abeokuta, and Abuja. And our Abeokuta Academy is our largest and best to date. And that happened because someone just said to me, a friend of mine said, "Oh, what you're doing, why not bring it to Abeokuta? We're already in 2 places right there." And I'm like, "Well, we don't have funding." She said, "No problem." And she introduced me to the SA, to the governor on ICT. I met this person in December. By January, in less than a month, the government had already given us a facility to work out of. They had helped us with recruiting beneficiaries. Like for the first time ever, we had to be turning people back to say, we don't have the space. Like we can't take you people. Because of that, we signed an MOU with them, and everything moved so speedily. Because of that, we're able to train about 200 women every year in Abeokuta. And they gave us the facility. We don't pay for utilities. Publicity that is always so hard to do in other places. Like people keep bombarding us in Abeokuta because our target, we're targeting people at the grassroots, like at the basic level.
Yes.
So for me, we're like, see what one person. So we this non-profit, we're trying to achieve this. We struggled in all our other locations. We're still there, we're still struggling, but look at what having one decent person in government, one person who knew what he was doing, one person who knew what the value we're bringing, one person who was determined to bring change to his people.
That's right.
I mean, this person is not the president. He wasn't even the governor. He was an SC, an SSA now. So for me, and that was one of the things that marked the turning point for me. That because government is still the only institution in this world that can bring change at scale, and that's sustainable, right? So for me, it was like, okay, come on, we need a lot more people like this person in government. So let's more people can partner with those in private sector, those in civil society. So
all right. That's a lot, actually, given the current situation of things, and being that you found that special thing in that particular aspect and that particular area as well. 19 minutes to 12 on Women Radio 91.7, and this is still Political Arena, where we discuss politicking in Nigeria. Today we're talking about Roadmap to 2023, creating change through stronger women representation in governance. Roadmap to 2023, creating change through stronger women representation in governance. Once again, my name is Sumto Titilayo Achama, and of course I have with me my guest, PDP candidate, EKITI State House of Assembly, IKERE 2 constituency. Her name is SIMI OLUSOLA, and today we're talking about Roadmap to 2023, creating that change through stronger women representation in governance. You can call in to contribute, send your text and WhatsApp messages. Call in to 07000 917 917. 07000 917 917. Also, you can send in text or WhatsApp messages to 0703 175 6537. Now, I'm coming back to you, Simi. Thank you very much for sharing your experience. And, as we just really race through the political space, so to speak, let me now ask what you would do differently, because now you're vying for a position in the you in the House of Assembly is what you're shooting for, and you're practically already there. So what would you do differently at this point for your people that will work for you, that will work for them, and earn you a place in their hearts? Positive, in a positive space, so to speak.
Well, three things. First thing is that my people can be sure of is that there won't be any case of me taking things that are meant for my people. Do you get? There won't be any me doing unfair, so there won't be that corruption.
Okay.
Whatever it is that is going to go to the people is going to go with me, and I'm not going to be trying to change anyone. So they can be sure of that, definitely. Second thing is, I'm going to be very inclusive. So our government so far has this habit of talking at us. They don't talk with us. We don't engage people. We don't get to know what exactly people need. They don't know what's going on. If most people don't know, this is how much the local government or state government has received. People don't know what's going on. But so how can I ensure that I carry people along so they know, okay, exactly, this is what's happening. This is the bill that I'm trying to push right now. This is why, that so carrying people along in governance. And the third thing will now be actually using my seat as a legislator to drive change. So things I'm interested about, I'm going to be particular about, how can we use policy to drive change in these places, areas of education, improving the economy in terms of, supporting entrepreneurship, creating this a good environment, enabling environment, and then finally I'm going to be focusing a lot on technology because that's my expertise, that's my background. And finally, I'm going to be working on gender issues. EKITI has quite an imbalance especially when it comes to gender-based violence. So I'm going to be focusing on that. And finally, I'll be still in the same. I'm using my seat to push development. I have an extensive network which I'm still working on growing, because of all the work I've done for the past 11 years in social impact space. So how can I help? Maybe facilitate projects. How can I connect with partners that can bring some sort of interventions into my constituency?
See, that's a lot of work going forward, and I'm pretty sure that given the opportunity, the people of IKERE 2 constituency in Ekiti State will definitely be grateful for your leadership. Now, quick question. How would you assess the current level of women participation in government, and what are two things that you think can be done better to improve that number and, of course, create change through the improvement of that number?
Well, unfortunately, it just seems like things are getting worse when it comes to women's participation. I have not been, we won't know the exact number yet until after the election, but from what I've seen so far, things are getting worse for women. So, and it's for me, it's not surprising because the economy has become tighter for everybody, and who suffers that the most? Women were already the ones at the lower end of the economy in the first place. So it just even means that there are even now fewer women who are empowered enough to try and take this. But the main thing I will say is that, it's doable. And for me, and this is me speaking to women directly, that this thing is doable. And we just need to have patience and to start early. So for me, I had actually started saving up for my election years ago. What I'd saved still did not scratch the surface. So we didn't get anywhere.
Because you already said that it was ridiculously expensive. So I can only imagine.
Yes. Yeah, but I was able to start some things on my own, and then when I did those things, I was then able to get support. So, but I found out that there were cases where some women didn't even have anything. Yeah, they have right hard, they have the skills, but they didn't have any resources. So in two ways, I'll speak to women who intend to run or who are continuing. First thing is, I'm telling you now, it is doable. It's difficult, but trust me, it's easier than you think it is. It's frustrating as well. It's like a dichotomy anyways, but it's very doable. But then you have to prepare. So I'll say from now, if it's 5,000, if it's 2,000, you can save every month. Start doing it. And by the time 4 years becomes around, you have something to start with. And then other people can then carry the load for you. But you can't go from the first point and you're asking people to support when you've not even done anything. And I'm also hoping that other women can begin to form collectives where putting together funds to support other women who want to run for office. So that's one area I know that we can really help. Can other women out there who are willing from now to form like a cooperative, and what you're just doing is putting in money for women who want to run 4 years from now. And also the whole gender thing, men not taking you serious, sexually propositioning you. Yes, that always happens. But we just have to, it's life. It's a lot in life. It's what we deal with. It happens everywhere. It happens at work, right? So we just have to be ready to go with it. And women definitely need a good support system. If you have a partner, you need to meet, or if you don't have a partner yet, you need to be very careful with your choice of partner. You need to get somebody who 100% supports you, who will not feel threatened when you're, having certain meetings or all those kind of things. So you need to be very careful in that. But so for women, it's just it's doable. We just have to start very early. We have to be bullish about this. Try everything, and let's try at all levels. Let's look at ward councillors. Start from there. How many women can we get into? Can we get to become councillors across the country? The bar is even lower there. How many women can we get into local government office? How many women can we get into the state assembly? And from there, if we're able to focus on that deliberately, 12 years, 8 years from now, I'm sure that these women will grow to become members of the National Assembly, to become executives, to become governors, not just deputy governors. And maybe eventually one day we will get a president.
Eventually, I like the sound of that. And I like the hope that I hear in your voice, because it enables even other people to have that same hope, share that same hope going forward. Now, creating change is what we're talking about, creating change through stronger women representation in governance. We're going to wrap up in a little bit, but how can women actually achieve this? How can women create change in their various political parties to positively inspire women to actively join politics? So we're talking about the fact that there are not enough women in politics, and we need women who are in politics to set the right tone for the people to come. So how can these women who are already there create change in their various positions in such a way that it will positively inspire other women to actively join politics?
So one thing I would say is that we need women to be a lot more vocal. Women, we play this thing called respectability politics. I know that the society sort of stacked against us. That in the sense of double standards, what a man can get away with, the woman can't. But we need to just forget about that. A lot of women in these places don't talk, or we don't hear their voices. So, for example, I make it a point of duty that whenever I'm in a political meeting, I have to speak. Most times I don't like speaking because, what somebody else, maybe what I wanted to say, someone has said it already, and I feel like it's a waste of time. But I find out that if I don't speak at that meeting, chances are that no woman's voice will be heard in that meeting. So sometimes I would just get, so as small as things like that, let a woman's voice always be heard in any political gathering. And let's be that they're hearing your voice for something good. So just be there, show up. That's for the women who are already in the space. Show up and contribute significantly, positively, so don't just be a yes person. Make contributions, question things. Let the voice of the woman in whatever space that you are in be known, and be known for something. So that's one thing that I do. As simple as in meetings, and once I see that no other woman has spoken, I ensure that I speak, just so that it's on the record that a woman spoke in this meeting. And then the other part is that, I think we need a lot more, I won't call it mentorship, well, maybe it's mentorship, but we need to lend a hand to one another more. It is hard because in the political space, it's really a jungle, like everybody is fighting for their survival. So for that, I don't know if I have the answer, but we just have to try. You need to try, like while you're fighting for your own survival, maybe you can just still lend a hand to another woman and pull her up. And it's hard because, politics is all about loyalty to leaders, it's hard when you've put in, imagine a woman who has put in 12 years, serving a particular party,
yes,
being loyal to another leader, and then it will be hard for her to now start fighting on behalf of another woman, because she hasn't even finished carrying her own battle. So I know that the things women deal with, we just have to break out of it and see, like I said, I don't have it. I don't have the perfect answer for that, but I know that it's something we have to do. Yes, and most women are still fighting for their own survival, but somewhere in that battle for survival, somewhere in that junk, just try, even in the smallest of things. See how you can extend a hand to another woman to pull them up, to bring them into the space.
Thank you so much. And I'm really grateful that you came on the program today. Thank you very much for joining us on Political Arena. Creating change through women participation is actually very important, and I'm appreciative of the fact that you also recognize that as an important task for women going forward, particularly to inspire the younger generation. Thank you very much, Simi. Thank you for joining us on Political Arena today. It's been a wonderful conversation.
Thank you. It was nice speaking with you.
Thank you again. Please enjoy the rest of your day.
And you too. Bye.
Bye. So it has been said by Simi OLUSOLA, PDP candidate, EKITI State House of Assembly, IKERE